one another, and with a shared commitment to serving our respective communities. May our actions reflect your will, your love, and your care for all people, especially the most vulnerable in our city. Please bless the leaders of our city, the residents, and all those who serve and protect. Keep us mindful of the needs of those around us and help us to be good stewards of the resources entrusted to us. And it is in the all-sufficient name of Jesus that we pray. Let us all say amen.
Amen. Thank you, Pastor McMillan. Please join me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you for your participation in the prayer and the Pledge of Allegiance. Need approval for the February 18, 2025 work session minutes. All in favor, please raise your hand.
8 with 1 abstention, District 1.
Okay. Approval for the February 18, 2025 regular council meeting minutes. All in favor, please raise your hand.
8 with 1 abstention.
Okay. Ed, you got any questions on that? Is it?
He was.
All right, thank you, man. Thank you, Mr. Laylock. Mayor?
How's everybody?
Good.
Good. Good evening. Good to see everybody here today. Mr. President, all the city councilors, to citizens of Montgomery, thank you for coming out and for tuning in virtually, take part in local government as we make decisions that we believe are in the best interest of each and every citizen that we serve. Recently, we celebrated the groundbreaking of the Montgomery Intermodal Container Transfer Facility, also known as Montgomery Inland Port. This $94 million investment in partnership with the Alabama Port Authority and CSX is a transformative project set to drive economic growth across the region and across the state. Originally announced in 2022, this project has attracted 7 major companies to the area near the inland port and more than $3 billion in investments. It will also lead the development of more than 2 million square feet of space and create north of 1,400 new jobs in this region. The Montgomery ICTF is strategically located across a 272-acre site with access to Interstate 65, Interstate 85, Highway 31, along the fast-growing interstate industrial corridor. Significant investments in job creation have been made within a 10-mile radius of this site, to the tune of over $8 billion in new expanding projects, further demonstrating the attractiveness of our region as a key player in freight movement, manufacturing expansion, and global commerce connectivity. It is poised to be a logistics hub of the Southeast, supporting transportation needs of manufacturers, automotive suppliers, and industries that rely seamlessly on freight movement. Now, as our economy here in Montgomery continues to grow, so does the need for housing to support those that are working and our residents. Last week, the Montgomery Housing Authority kicked off construction on 60 new affordable housing units at Columbus Square. The $20.6 million project is phase 3 with a completion time set for early 2026. Phase 1 and phase 2 of Columbus Square already boast nearly 100 units, and we're committed to public and private partnerships to help us solve for the housing needs of our community as we go right here in Montgomery. Now, this past weekend, we kicked off our Open On initiative with Open on Dexter, a month-long celebration of creativity, culture, and commerce. Open on Dexter is transforming Lower Dexter Avenue and Court Square into a vibrant marketplace of pop-up shops, delicious eats, and live entertainment, all while supporting local small businesses and artists. Whether you are a shopper, foodie, art lover, or entrepreneur, this is your opportunity to be part of something big. By repurposing vacant spaces, we're not just activating our streets, we're investing in the future of the city. We invite you to come explore, shop, and celebrate the energy of downtown Montgomery every weekend throughout the month of March. Download the Open On app by visiting openonmgm.com for exclusive deals, event updates, and insider access to this month's long celebration. Speaking of events in March, I'd like to highlight the upcoming celebration of the 60th anniversary of the Selma to Montgomery Voting Rights March. This coming Sunday marks the 60th anniversary of Bloody Sunday, when more than 600 marchers faced brutal attacks by oncoming state troopers in a march across the Edmund Pettus Bridge in Selma. The demonstrators, led by civil rights activists John Lewis and Hosea Williams, were commemorating the recent fatal shooting of Jimmy Lee Jackson before they were met with tear gas, bullwhips, and clubs, which resulted in the injury and hospitalization of dozens of marchers. These events helped spark the Voting Rights March of 1965, where marchers traveled the 54 miles from Selma to the steps of the state capitol. Interestingly enough, both Mr. Lewis and Hosea Williams went on to be city councilmen in Atlanta in the 80s. Now, this side of the bridge will be holding a reception at the Montgomery Museum of Fine Arts on Friday, March 21st to kick off the 60th anniversary weekend. Saturday, March 22nd will feature an exciting day for the whole family at Carver High School, with Family Fun Day happening from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. and the Stars for Freedom Rally happening from 2 p.m. to 8 p.m. Then join us on Sunday, March 23rd for This Side of the Bridge March from the city of St. Jude to the Alabama State Capitol. That Sunday, we will retrace the steps of 25,000 people who marched to the steps of the Capitol where Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. delivered one of his best and most famous speeches, How Long, Not Long. We hope you will join us in attending this series of inspiring events honoring the legacy of those who marched and participated in the fight for justice. Shifting gears, we want to highlight the City of Champions. We want to highlight our area basketball teams for securing championships in 2024-2025 Alabama High School Athletic Association state finals. Before we get to the girls, we want to start with AISA boys state champions, Valiant Cross Academy, who brought home their first state title in the basketball tournament this past week, excuse me. First up, for the girls in 6A, the Park Crossing Lady Thunderbirds basketball team brought home the Blue Map Trophy with a win over Chelsea High School. The Thunderbirds capped a 34-1 season and secured the first state title in program history. And I'm proud to say that we beat I-65 traffic and we were able to make it up for the game to see them bring back the victory. It's a great season by the coach and the staff and everybody associated with Park Crossing, and 34 wins and 1 loss is not likely to be topped anytime soon. But that's not all. In the 4A ranks, the Trinity Presbyterian girls basketball team clinched its 3rd consecutive state title, 3 in a row. They won the 3A championships in 2023 and 24 and added this year's 4A title to the trophy case with a win over Good Hope. The Wildcats finished the season with a 30-4 overall record. Now back to the boys. In 3A action, Montgomery Academy's boys basketball team earned a Blue Map Trophy with a win over Mars Hill Bible. The Eagles capped a 34-2 season to claim the school's first boys state crown. Please join me in a round of applause to congratulate all of our area teams, and we look forward to hosting them down in the City Council in the upcoming weeks. All right, now the MA boys are gonna be mad that y'all didn't have that picture right. Just know that wasn't my fault. All right, we'll get it straightened out. That said, we want to close out tonight's message with another recognition. Lamp Poetry Out Loud winner, Michaela Austin, was recently crowned the champion of the Alabama Poetry Out Loud competition. This earns her a spot representing Alabama at the National Poetry Out Loud competition in Washington, D.C. in May. Poetry Out Loud is a national high school poetry competition and poetry education program under the partnership of the National Endowment for the Arts, Poetry Foundation, and state and jurisdictional arts agencies. At the Alabama competition, Michaela recited The Bad Old Days by Kenneth Brexroth, January 1975 by Mary Robinson, and Brother I've Seen Some by Kabir, translated by Arvind Krishna Marota. The winner of the national competition will receive $20,000 in college scholarship funds. Please join me in asking Michaela to please come up and take a picture with the City Council and giving her a round of applause as we wish her the best of luck representing the state of Alabama and MPS in the upcoming competition. Mr. President, that concludes my report. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Any questions for the mayor? Thank you. All right. Any special committees to report? No committee report. Madam Johnson, Councillor Johnson.
They're not here. They're not.
Okay. All right. Moving on. We'll get them next 2 weeks.
Oh, they're coming in? Oh, they're here. Yeah, they're here, Mr. President.
All right. Representatives from Percy Julian High School in the audience.
Then, well, can we just put them towards
We'll come back
the end?
to
Thank you.
All right. All right. Madam Clerk, item 1.
Mr. President, item 1 is the consent agenda for the council's approval.
All right. Any questions from the council on item 1? All right. Need a motion? No, we don't need
Move to adopt.
All in favor, please raise your hand.
Unanimous. Item 2, hearing of proposed ordinance rezoning one lot located at the north end of Hillmore Court from an R65M district to a B3 district.
All right. We already had the hearing. Representative for item 2 in the audience. Mr. Jim Wright.
Move to adopt.
Okay.
Close your public hearing, Mr. President.
Okay. Public hearing has been held properly before the council.
Move to adopt.
All right. All in favor, please raise your hand.
Unanimous. Ordinance is adopted. Item 3, hearing on proposed ordinance adopting a text amendment to the zoning ordinance adding regulations for solar energy collection facilities.
Okay. All right. We got item number 3. This is a hearing on the proposed amendment to the zoning ordinance for solar. Anyone in the audience want to speak on this? What's going to happen with this ordinance? We have an amendment that wants to be presented, so the council is going to send it back down to the planning commission to add those amendments, and then it'll come back before the council. That'll be in April. Am I right?
It'll be later than that because they'll have to advertise they'll have to start the process.
Okay,
all over.
the process will start all over.
Yes, sir.
Right.
Okay, so this is the hearing has been held and your.
Okay, the hearing has been held, and we're sending it back to the planning commission for recommendation.
Okay. Item 4, ordinance amending the Code of Ordinances, section 16-107, gasoline and oil tax wholesale.
Okay. All right, have a discussion on the oil tax. All right. No one want to discuss?
Mr. President,
Mr. Pruitt?
I've requested, and I'd like to see if the council would be okay if we carried it over for 2 weeks.
No.
I've asked for the last 4 or 5 years of the expenditures out of that gasoline tax. The council should receive each year 2 cents of that 5 cents. And I just would like to see exactly where that gas tax money has been spent. That's just my opinion. I'd like to see that.
Mr. Pruitt, we carried this over for 2 weeks.
I know it's late.
I mean, and we didn't get the answers that we needed in 2 weeks. I think we're going to call for a vote. We voted up and down tonight. If we have anybody from the staff that wants to speak on that, any council have any questions, we discussed it in work session. We just call for a vote.
Madam Clerk, I'd like to actually call for the question to carry it over. I can do that, can I?
Yes, sir, you can.
All right.
You can make a motion to.
Because
carry
I would
over.
like to see it in council, look, hang on.
Okay, let me let you finish.
I am not against what I think we're trying to do. All I am doing is, in this city, we are not paving streets, I don't think, enough to catch up to where we need to be. And I would like to see that 3 cents go to each council for paving and paving alone, and that 2 cents go into that account as well, for a total of 5 cents. That's why I'm asking for that.
Okay.
Because okay, go ahead.
I'm gonna let you finish. I don't
go
disagree
ahead.
with what you're saying about the paving and what we're
Yeah.
doing as far as paving.
Yeah.
We carried this item over 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks. We had 2.5 weeks. Patrick, you come on up after speak. We had 2.5 weeks to get all questions we asked, get those things requested. I think those requests came in for this item on yesterday. I don't think we're doing a due diligence with the staff when something is coming before the council to vote on a Tuesday when we had 2.5 weeks to get any information that we need. Mr. Dunston has been talking with this council for over 2-3 months about what we're trying to do when it comes to paving streets, doing bridges within this city. When our constituents are asking us for it and to carry it over and ask for it to be put back in committees 2 times, I think that's just playing too much politics. I would just ask that we voted up or down, whether we get the 3 cents or we don't get the 2 cents. To carry it over for 2 weeks, to come in 2 more weeks to ask for it on a Tuesday or Monday night, I think we're just playing politics.
But how is it playing politics when
Mr. Dunston,
hang on, Patrick. How's it playing politics when I'm saying that the council needs paving money?
Okay.
I agree with that. Hold on. I don't think this city's going to fall apart in the next 2 weeks if we take 2 more weeks. I'm not asking to put it into a committee. All I'm asking for is to see where the money has gone, where it's been spent, trying to get this council, each 9 council members, more money to pave. No other projects, but pave districts in our streets in our district. That's
And
it.
I think the council is asking for more money to pave, and that's what this 3 cents
It's
would
not
do.
being earmarked. That's not what it's.
We have never earmarked it. So my point,
Well, I'm
Mr.
asking
Dunston,
to do it.
Mr. Dunston,
One thing I would say, when we talk about splitting up, we were talking about $3 million, split in 9 ways. You know, we're in the process now, and we'll come for you in the next couple of weeks, will be a contract to grade all of our city roads. As the citizens of Montgomery travel around and travel a lot of our heavier traveled roads, Atlanta Highway, Bell Road, Vaughn Road, we got all these major roads. Those are major projects that it will take every bit of that $3 million to attack those, you know, one at a time. Some of them may take more than that. We also have got bridges that need replaced. There are bridges that will take, you know, entirely whole chunks, that entire chunk to replace, you know, some of these bridges. So I would encourage the council not to split that up, to give us the flexibility to really pave these streets and replace these bridges that are on heavily traveled roads that are traveled by everybody in the city. You know, and you know, while it may be in various districts, you know, I think that's one of the key points is that everybody, the traveling public, the people that live here in Montgomery, the people that visit Montgomery, you know, these are the roads that, you know, while they may not be next to, you know, anybody's house, they are in areas where everybody travels to get to work, to get to, you know, the retail areas and to shop. There are also streets that visitors come to Montgomery and see, you know, and so I think with this money, we can help improve the rideability of these roads, but also the aesthetic looks and the experience that people that visit Montgomery come to Montgomery and experience. So I would just encourage not to split it 9 ways.
Mr. President,
Mr. Jenwright.
with the 3 cents, that's one situation, and you've got general need. How much money is left for the city council individually for our districts with what we got now? Is that $150,000 a year, $200,000 a year?
Historically, what we've been doing is take what we call the Rebuild Alabama funds and split that funds in 9 ways, which is about $225,000 per council member. Plus, I think each council member gets discretionary money. If there are additional streets that you want to pave, we would certainly be happy to give you, you know, estimates in that. And if you want to use your discretionary funds to pave some of those streets, you know, we can look at doing that as well.
But Patrick, let me make sure that people understand $225,000 is a lot of money, but in the grand scheme of paving, it's not very much. It's going to get you about 1.5 miles. That's it, ballpark.
Right, and I presented a plan here a few weeks ago, and council, I think, has that, but what we're going to pave in 2025 with that money. But it's not a long, and that's the reality. We're talking about, you know, these longer, majorly traveled roads that, you know, to split it up 9 ways, you're not going to be able to pave these main arteries that are the lifeblood of Montgomery.
But how is it, go ahead, I'm sorry.
No, Patrick, I want to, Atlanta Highway, obviously, that's in my district, the whole thing. But that's going to be an MPO project, because that's a multi-million-dollar project, right?
It is, but this money can also
Be matching?
It can be used for matching. So, like for instance, you know, Court Street, when we did Court Street, I mean, that was a $10 million project. The match alone was $2 million just for that project. That don't include the engineering fees and all that we paid to get us to that point. So, I mean, that's the kind of thing you have to keep in mind. Even when we're using MPO money and you're getting at an 80-20 split, these are major projects that are going to be 10, 12 $1 million, like Federal Drive right now, which is going on. That's an $8 million project. You know, it cost us 20% of that $8 million to pay to get that project through.
So let me make sure I understand this, and I'm done. You get today about $5 million ballpark. You get 7 cents, we get 2 cents, you get 5 cents ballpark, right? This would be an additional $3 million on top of that 5. So your department would have about $8 million.
He gets the whole 7.
Well, I'm saying, yeah, he would actually get 8 cents. We get 2 cents today, guys, listen. It's not hard. We get 7 cents today. We get 2 cents to pave out of that 7 cents, ballpark.
I thought he took it out of Rebuild Alabama.
What I presented the other night was Rebuild Alabama. That's correct.
We have been taking 2 cents, $200,000 out of each council account. So he's going to have a total of about $8 million, where each council district's only going to have $200,000.
Yeah, but is that correct?
Give or take.
If you got $8 million to pay with,
If this passes.
We don't get $8 million. Well, of that 5, we're not getting all of that money for paving. Now, there are other expenditures that money is allowed to be spent on, and so that goes on other qualifying expenditures. I'm going to give you an example. You know, there in the street maintenance department, there are employee salaries who are paid because their work is specifically paving. Right. So those employee salaries are eligible for that tax. There are street lights throughout the city of Montgomery, you know, all that are throughout the city of Montgomery, and the utility bills for those street lights and traffic signals. Those expenses are paid with gas tax money. So,
Mr. President,
I don't think you got $8 million worth of asphalt.
That's correct. There's not $8 million of going to, and that's why I'm asking.
How much asphalt money have you actually got? $3 million, $5 million?
Rebuild Alabama's about 1.6, and roughly we're getting maybe about another 2.
So $3 million.
It's about $3 million. Yeah.
Mr. President, I'd also, I mean, I understand the idea that we want to make sure that we are moving forward large-scale projects in our districts, but I do think one of the things that's important about this infrastructure money, and something that I get calls about all the time in District 7, is, correct me if I'm wrong, Patrick, but we're also paying for streetlights and some of that infrastructure as well, curbs, gutter, that type of stuff. And in an older district like District 7, and I'm sure in some of the other districts as well, the idea that we would, you know, maybe prioritize different things at different times, having different projects at different years. You know, we get to oversee the budget. We get to have these conversations when the budgeting process comes along. We could go into an arms race for how much money we wanted to charge in tax, but this 3 cents increase seems sensible and can be used to do not only major thoroughfare projects, but also provide pieces of infrastructure that are critical to districts that need them beyond paving.
Mr. President?
Mr. Mitchell.
So we had the opportunity 5 years ago to do a occupational tax. Some of the city council held that occupational tax on for us voting on it until the legislature came in and restricted us from doing it. If we would have voted on that occupational tax 5 years ago and stopped carrying it over, we wouldn't even be in this situation. But we want to stop trying to move Montgomery forward because we should have did this 5 years ago. We held that occupational tax up purposely so the legislature could come in and say the city of Montgomery cannot do an occupational tax. If we wouldn't have did that, Mr. President, we wouldn't even be talking about this right now.
Mr. Mitchell, let me tell you, I went and tried to stop it at the legislature. I talked my face blue over the whole thing, trying to stop them taking it away from us. And they took it anyway because they didn't want us to have it, period. I don't think
But at
we
the time you was the president, Mr. Jenwright, but we didn't even vote on it. We carried it over.
You weren't in the right
We
to vote.
carried it over. We
don't
didn't
know
vote
how-
on it. We did not bring it up.
don't
We
remember
kept on
that.
carrying it over.
All right, okay.
No, we kept on carrying it over.
Mr.
President.
Let's just stay in on this, on the gas.
Mr. President, I got one more, I got a comment.
Okay, Mr. Grimes.
All right, I've got a couple of customers that's got multiple C-stores, and they reached out to me. You know, Prattville's got 4 cents on their gas. No, Talca County has 0. So if we go to 10, Montgomery's got 1, so they're going to be 7 cents cheaper in Prattville. They ask, please don't do that. You're going to put us at a disadvantage.
Okay, Mr. Dunson, the last comment, talk about your experience when you rode today to check the gas prices throughout the Tri-County.
As I was saying in the work session, just my observations driving around town. One of the cheapest gas prices I saw was $2.59 a gallon. That was at Walmart. I go right down the street to Circle K. It was $2.69 a gallon. Right next to that is a Pure gas station. It was $2.79 a gallon. What I have seen in traveling, if you cross the River Bridge right there in Elmore County, the gas right there is $2.85 a gallon. Even if you take that Pure gas station I was talking about, which was one of the highest gas that I've seen, you add 3 cents to that, we're still below what they're charging in just right across the River Bridge right there. So I still think, and obviously, every gas station is a little bit different though.
Mr. President.
Mr. Beard.
Yeah, I've talked with Patrick this week. I've talked to Jeremy Reed. I've talked to Ms. Beeble. And if we're looking at it, if you have a $20, a 20-gallon gas tank, you're talking 30 cents extra per gas for a full tank of gas. You multiply that out, it's a word problem. That's what, $2.40 a month? $22.40 a month. You multiply it for the year, you've got about $28. If you go on a vacation, you may have $40 extra on your gas. And we get complaints all the time. I do. Delray Road, Madison Avenue, we all drive that every day. We have a bridge on Harrison Road that needs repairing, and curbs and so forth and so on. One thing that we did talk about though, Mr. Johnson, was that we talked about you're going to use a report card type thing to grade your streets, correct? And you just said you're going to do that in the next couple of weeks. Is that correct?
The contract will come before council in
Yes,
the next
sir.
couple of weeks. Now, it will take them longer to do that, probably about a 3-month period to
3-month
actually
study, okay.
to grade that, so yes.
Okay, and if we were to vote on this, it will take us from the time it hits the State Department, they have 60 days for us to put that on the books, so to speak, before we can actually start charging that. And I talked to the Deputy Commissioner today, finally got through with her today. So I see the point down here where somebody was like, let's carry it over. I'm just still unsettled a little bit about it. I know we need it. And the thoroughfares need it the most. I would just like to see, like you and I talked, the exact ones that we'd like to pay. Yes.
Okay, we're going to end this discussion, but I think it's a question on the floor about the vote for a carryover. And I still stand where I say on the carryover. We carried this over 2 weeks.
Mr. Calhoun,
Let me
just
finish
call
this
for the
point.
vote.
I'm going to call for the vote after I finish my statement.
Call for the vote is not debatable.
No, but the vote, hold on, Madam Chair, we called for the vote. There was a question on the floor, and I understand.
He just called for
He
it.
called for, okay, all in favor of the carryover, please raise your hand.
Oh, yeah.
4.
Okay. All opposers, please raise your hand.
Five.
Okay,
The
thank
motion
you. No.
The motion fails.
All right, now I'm calling for a motion to vote on item number 4. All in favor, please raise your
You
hand.
can't call for the.
Oh, I'm sorry, I need a motion.
Mr. President, a motion to adopt.
All in favor, please raise your hand.
Six.
All opposers have the same right.
3.
Thank you, Council. We're going to have an amendment at the end. We're going to split this 6 ways instead of 9.
Better, 'cause you ain't getting no more money.
Item 5, application for a restaurant retail liquor license doing business as Maris Carrera Ramirez at 1863 Mountain Edge Road.
All right. Representative for
I know I slaughtered it because my spending.
restaurant for item number 5. We just gonna say item number 5. Representative for item number 5, please come forward. Alfonso Ramirez. That's you. Come on up here. Center mic, sir.
Ramirez Carrera.
I thought it was Apollonia. Apollonia.
Yeah.
Apolonio Ramirez.
Okay, we finna get it right now. Your name for the record, sir.
Apolonio Ramirez.
Got it. Apollonia Ramirez.
What's the name of your restaurant?
What's the name of the restaurant?
That's Marisqueria Ramirez.
That's what I said.
Okay, we got it. We go back on the recording and get that. Okay, all right. We had the public hearing on this already, right?
Yes, sir, this is on
All right.
business.
Need a motion?
Motion to adopt.
All in favor, please raise your hand.
Unanimous, resolution is adopted.
Good luck.
Good luck with your business, sir.
Thank you.
Item 6, review of the business license of Seaman Record Service, 3824 Birmingham Highway.
All right, have a representative for Seaman Record Service. Please come forward. Or on this item, we have Destiny Mitchell. That's not one of you guys. Destiny Mitchell. Dynasty, sorry. Dynasty Mitchell. Last name William. Okay. And William Boyd will let you come up after they speak. Okay? Yes. Mr. Mitchell.
Yeah, I just want you to explain, because there's a lot of misunderstanding and misconcept about how Siemens work when it comes to cars that are stolen, your fees. Can you tell us the simple process of how you charge for your towing, how you charge for your fees when it comes to individuals and they individual vehicles?
And Councilman, if you would like, I do have some packets of information for each council member.
Yes.
For review as we speak. Would that be okay?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Please. Thank you so much, sir.
And Council, as you'll see, the exhibits that I've given you are marked for letter grades from A and down. So some of the things are pretty much things that come to attention through Facebook post, calls, and also information provided from the city. To start out, Siemens is on a contract with the city to pick up, tow, and hold the vehicles as far as what has been called as abandoned, stolen, and being recovered by the city.
Mr. William, just step center and speak directly to the microphone. Thank you.
Hear me now?
Yes.
So in that contract, when the vehicles are recovered by the city, whether it be an abandoned or stolen or what have you, that is done by that contract. The contract with the city is marked as Exhibit A. So as far as the document goes, Siemens is involved by way of that contract. Whenever a call comes through, they are called, I believe, primarily through Montgomery Police Department. Okay. So at the time that the dispatch calls to let Siemens know to come pick up a vehicle, I'll let Ms. Mitchell run through that process administratively.
So Montgomery City Dispatch calls for us to pick up a vehicle. We are not aware of the situation with the vehicle at all. We're just called by their dispatch with an address and where to pick up the vehicle. Our tow truck is dispatched, they pick up the vehicle. There are instances where the owner is on scene and we take it to their residence or anywhere that they want to go. If they're not on scene, and sometimes when they are on scene, they still want us to bring it back to our lot. A lot of times insurance comes to our lot to take care of it. They do their, their investigation there, and then they have insurance pick it up from us.
Councilman, as far as the questions to your fees, those fees are outlined over the 3 pages of Exhibit A. They go by vehicle type, amount of axles, and then it's also city equipment, as well as evidence related to crimes, holdings for investigations, and safety holdings requested by the city for things, maybe there's an injury or a potential crime related, but it needed to be held for investigation. Those things are also included as well.
And so, one question for you: when it comes to a stolen car, who initial responsibility is it to contact that individual whose car might have been stolen? Do that fall on the city? Do that fall on Seaman? Who's that initial contact with the individual should be?
And so, Councilman, you'll see as my Exhibit C there, that is the statute that goes over the responsibility of notice for abandoned and stolen vehicles. That section is 32-13-2. If you look at Section C, it specifically reads that law enforcement has the responsibility of giving notification for any vehicle removed to the place of vehicle safety or garage as being held within 5. From the experience of Siemens, respectfully, that is not being done.
Okay. My question would be, I heard you say impossible investigation if something is stolen or accident, hit and run in investigation, and it's stored on your lot. And I think some of the problems come in, if we're investigating from a city investigation standpoint, and you don't get the correct notification to the owner, now the vehicle sits there for 30 days because our investigators had not come out. Are those fees in any way possible waived?
So when a vehicle comes in from MPD, it comes in sometimes with an impound sheet.
Okay.
That's Exhibit B. Okay. Page 2.
B, okay.
If MPD is doing an investigation on it, that vehicle is placed on hold.
Okay.
At that point, MPD gets, in the contract, I believe it says 5 days free storage, but we do 10 days.
Okay.
If MPD needs longer, then they're responsible for the storage until they release it. They release the hold that they have on it.
Okay. All right.
Now, when the vehicle comes off of hold, the owner's responsible for the storage after that.
For the days that count after the hold?
For the day after the hold is removed.
After the 10 days, then the owner is responsible. If they allow the vehicle to still sit on the lot.
After MPD releases it, some vehicles are on hold for longer than 10 days.
Okay.
Okay. The problem is these vehicles that are coming in as stolen vehicles are not on hold with MPD. They're not coming in on any investigation hold. You can see on the impound sheet, it says, can vehicle be released? Yes.
So, Ms. Mitchell, question for you. So when the detectives or the police do not do that initial contact with the victim, do seamen go in and do you guys try to contact them? What is the next step if you say what you said the MPD is not doing? What would be the next step to notify those victims that their car may be on your lot if the police didn't do that initial contact with them?
So you can see the next page is where we run owner information on day 5. And this is actually regulated by the state. We go in and we find owner information and any lien holder information, and we send certified letters out.
Okay.
And then real quick, Council, as you'll see on that same page, the information that Siemens is getting upon the pickup is going to be through the officer that calls for the vehicle to be recovered. The information that MPD is allowed or able to pull up on their systems is not as accurate as what Siemens is allowed to pull up on their systems. As you'll see on page 2, the officer for this one checked NCIC records for stolen vehicle, confirmed that it was checked, marked that it was stolen. If stolen, owner notified, marked no. Through that, we can verify the officer on that date was able to see that that vehicle was stolen. From the database that Siemens has available through them as a record for the state, that same check is ran, and you'll just see in the red box, it did not find that same theft record upon the vehicle. So there's conflicting information going on. Siemens is more limited in what information is available to them. They can work on what they are given. They're not given the information needed to fill that gap in the information.
Okay. Any other questions?
No, sir. Not for me.
Any other councilman have any questions about the process for seamen?
I appreciate it.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Council.
All right. Mr. Board.
I don't think they was being honest. they stated that after 5 days, they notified the owner of the vehicle. I have a letter that was 45 days after they ran the fees up to $1,700. I would like to see the certified letter. They took 3 of my cars, I know. I would like to see the certification process that they made sure that the owner was contacted within 5 days, because I received a letter 45 days after the fees had went up to $1,700. And I have the same system that they have, where they can run the VIN number, notify the owner. They know exactly who the vehicle belonged to within the first 2 or 3 hours. Now, they told y'all that they do a certified letter 5 days to the owner or to the lien holder of that vehicle, and I said they telling a lie. I have documentation showing that I received, matter of fact, 2 letters where time had went up to at least 2 months when they ran the fees up, and then they notified the owner when they knew the owner from day one. So if that be the case, and I have the facts on my phone, that should be the case, but they are not following the procedure according to those documents that they gave you guys.
Okay. All right. Anyone have any questions for Ms. Boyd? And we're reading this. We just got.
I know that's just too much to read right now. You would need to have that at least 2 weeks in order to go over contract. There's nothing in that paperwork that you can say, hey, what they said, they are telling the truth. They are lying.
All right. Based on what I heard and what you're hearing.
Yeah, because I got the facts. I'm telling you that I got the facts, though, see?
Let me finish based on what C.C. Calhoun heard.
Yes.
That they're allowed 10 days.
Free time.
If it's been on hold.
Yes.
And so where I see the loophole is if it's being investigated for a stolen vehicle.
Take the stolen off, because we concentrated on stolen.
But it's somewhere in the loophole. Let me finish. The burden of proof sometimes has to fall on the officer to notify, because they're holding it up to 10 days to say 5, but they're holding it to 10. So after they release the whole, the information that needs to get to you as an owner or any other owner, from what I understand.
They took vehicles off my other lot, but they
we're not talking about a specific thing. We're just
what I'm saying, take the stolen. It's more they just take abandoned vehicle just on the side of the road. Take the stolen out of the equation.
But what I'm understanding, if they're getting a call from a dispatcher.
Yes.
To say to pick up this vehicle.
Yes.
They're not just going out just what we call it hot flying, just picking up cars.
Yes.
So the dispatcher is calling to get those vehicles.
But when they come on the scene, they just can't come tow a car, because if I can call someone and say, hey, there's a car on the side of the road, to come pick the car.
But if the police tag it, you got so many days to move.
No. I'm just saying. I'm telling you something. I know that they came and towed 3 cars off of my lot and charged me. And the only way I found out, because I called another towing company, and they said, your cars is at SEMA. And I caught hell getting my vehicles off their property, and I had to pay almost $250 a car when they towed my car within 24 hours, when I found out that they were the thieves.
Talk to us.
Right. So I'm saying what they told y'all is a bunch of lies. I just think that this need to be looked into, because if they saying that they sent out certified letters, then I'm telling them they're telling a lie.
Okay.
They're not following protocol.
So what we did 2 weeks ago from this council, we said we will get seamen in to get an understanding of the process. They have delivered us some documents about what we need to look at and how the process works. We understand your call concern, and other citizens in the city of Montgomery. We will look at this document. If it's something that we need to address either from Siemens or from a city standpoint on how we operate and notify the citizens that their car has been, through dispatch, been identified as a car that needs to be picked up by the company that we'll contract with, or any company. We need to figure out that process and how we get that tied down to a science that we can notify people that we don't get those fees ran up. And I think that's what this council was trying to do tonight, was get this document so we can come up and identify, because we don't see all these contracts that come up what we signed throughout. So we're trying to get to the bottom of it so we can get a understanding of what happened, so the citizens would know how they're being notified.
But see, that should be a cap. There's no way you should pay them $1,700 for an $800 car. It should be a cap somewhere, because they rob it. They are robbing the poor.
That's what we're saying we're going to look at. I mean, it's somewhere the city got to come because we contract with them. So if it's a cap that it stays 30 days and the investigators have not come out there to look at, then that shouldn't be on the owner. If we take 30 days to go out there to complete an investigation, maybe we need to cap it at what we need to cap it at from a city standpoint.
Right, can I get a copy of that?
You can have my copy. I can get a copy from it. Did you get one, Madam Blair?
No, sir. I was going to get Mr. Pruitt's.
Yeah, you got the right one. I'll just get another copy from you. All right, thank you.
Item 7, ordinance amending the license tax classification, section 16-106, Schedule AD.
All right. Mr. Pruitt, you was out
Yes, sir.
during the work session.
Yes, sir, and all this is fixing the business license. There was a few builders in town that their business license went from around $1,100 to about $11,000. And all it's doing is correcting the issue. It's still an increase to the builders, but within reason.
All right, and I'm gonna just bring you up to date where we at. He's here, he can explain what's going on.
Mr. Pruitt, we didn't hear a word about this over in license and revenue.
You didn't?
No, sir. And, if we're going to be deciding stuff that's going to affect license and revenue, we need to be in the conversation.
Well, that's probably my fault then, because we didn't get it in
So,
to Ms.
Ms.
Blaylock until Friday. But are you aware that the business license for builders that,
Yes, sir, there's no cap on it.
right, did you realize that some of them were paying $11,000?
Do you realize, though, that we passed that back in September?
Right, and now they're coming back to pay for it.
In license renewal season, they're doing this?
Yeah, but you can't make this retroactive, so this will go for next year. But I also want to remind this council that just voted on the gas tax, they're talking about gas across the bridge. Other surrounding municipalities don't charge builders business licenses, just permits. So if we want to keep up with everybody, but yeah, I mean, a business license went from $1,100 to $11,000.
Bob, some of the problems, we had Jimmy Rutland here from Louder, and we agreed to keep the fees the same this year. And I don't know how that got squirrely, I don't know, but we all voted to do that, and I don't know how we got askew. I don't have no idea.
Mr. Ryan, we did not vote to keep the fees the same. We sent Mr. Rutland to meet with them. They had a meeting, and it came out at 50 cents that the city was asking. They negotiated down to 20 cents. So they agreed to that.
They never had a meeting, CC. They never had a meeting.
Hold on. Did we not have a meeting?
I didn't have a meeting with them, but we brought it down from 50 cents per thousand to 20 cents per thousand. And that's what you all voted on, the amendment.
So if we didn't meet, we had a conversation though, right? So to
No,
go from
we
50
did not
to 20.
meet. But we presented the two, excuse me, I think, Mr. Szymanski, were you not aware of what the new fees were gonna be?
Well, actually, no, it was the cap. The whole point of this thing is that we're debating $50,000 in potential loss for maybe a couple thousand, $10,000 more. But when we look across the state, as I said earlier, we just championed about the idea of building new homes, why that is important in a city that had population loss over the last census. We need to incentivize home builders, not create the most expensive business license. And what makes them different than industrialists or doctors is that doctors don't pay a permit fee to see a patient. The people that manufacture something don't pay a permit fee to put it on a truck and send it out the door. They're paying permit fees. I understand there are incentives that we offer them as well. It just seems like in this one thing, and this is why I didn't vote on the budget and had the concerns back in September, is that this wasn't right, okay? And then when it came back around, the thing that we missed in this, we're good with the 20 cent, the doubling of the rate. The thing that was missed was the cap. And the cap only affects those that are in the highest building, or having the highest building footprint in the city in areas that we know we want to have more homes built. So I guess what I'm saying is
Okay,
that.
so my ask here, I understand everything you've said and you are saying now, is that you let us review it so we can see those numbers for ourselves, because we got blindsided with this,
And
like today.
That's probably my fault.
And we blame you for it, thank you for admitting.
I mean, but if we,
You're
the point is that if we were talking about like tens of millions of dollars of lost revenue to the city, we obviously wouldn't be having this conversation. It's really about an optic when it's only, what, 50, 60, 70,000
So my
dollars?
ask is still,
Yeah.
can you get carried over?
Okay, this is what I want to do, because I don't believe in this carrying over things just to carry it over. So we can carry this over, Madam Chair, for a council committee on committee in 7 days, so we can meet to discuss this. We're not just gonna carry it over, no one says anything, in 2 weeks, we back before the council with the same question.
What time?
Can I, Mr. President?
Yeah, go ahead.
What time?
Why do we need a committee?
Because I want to make sure everybody gets into committee with the finance directors, and if you got to bring the builders in, we can all talk about
Okay.
this. So when we come back in 2 weeks, we know what we're voting on, and we all come to an agreement. So, what's the time? 7 days. Let's look at next Wednesday. Do Wednesday work with everybody?
What time?
We're gonna meet here.
If it's the collective, I'm okay. As long as it's just not one person.
Yep. Wednesday at 4, 5, 4?
5.
All right, 4:30. All right, we'll meet y'all halfway. All right, next Wednesday, 4:30.
Okay.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Item A, ordinance amending section 106, section Schedule Y.
We'll discuss that next Wednesday at 4:30 also.
Okay.
Thank you, King.
But you know, this came from them.
We carry that over.
Okay.
All right, 2 weeks.
Item 9, resolution authorizing the mayor to execute an agreement with AUDIT for high-friction treatment installation on Pelzer Avenue from Waringwood Drive to Honeysuckle Road.
All right, that's 100% match. Need a motion?
Mr. President,
Ms. Beard?
yes, I'd like to make a motion to suspend the rules.
All right, all in favor, please raise your hand.
Unanimous.
Motion to adopt.
All in favor, please raise your hand.
Unanimous. Resolution is adopted. Item 10, resolution authorizing the mayor to execute an agreement with AUDIT for Wares Ferry Road Elementary School crosswalk improvements.
All right, council, this is a 90-10 split on Wares Ferry Road. Need a motion?
I'd like to make a motion to adopt.
Suspend
the rules.
Suspend the rules.
All in favor, please raise your hand.
Unanimous.
I'd like to make a motion to adopt.
All in favor, please raise your hand.
Unanimous. Resolution is adopted. Item 11, resolution authorizing execution of an amendment of Central Alabama Regional Planning and Development Commission sub-recipient agreement, critical home repair.
All right, need a motion to suspend the rules? Need a motion to suspend the rules? Anybody, please?
Motion to suspend the rules.
All in favor, please raise your hand.
Unanimous.
Motion to adopt.
All in favor, please raise your hand.
Unanimous. Resolution is adopted. Item 12, application for a restaurant retail liquor license doing business as 8 Ball Billiards, 163 Eastern Boulevard, Unit B.
All right, this is a public hearing. The owners of 8 Ball Billiards, please come forward. This is a public hearing. In the public communication on item 12, we have Samantha Hatton, Troy Snow. What's your name, sir?
Willie Thomas.
Okay. Scott Burbank. Okay, got you down, Mr. Thomas. Amy Myers. And Yavondria Johnson. Okay. Are you guys coming in support of it? You guys can just come up and stand if you're present.
Come on, Bob.
All right, your name for the record, sir.
Willie Thomas.
Willie Thomas, okay.
Is he the owner?
You're the owner? You represent the owner? You're the owner?
Representing.
Okay. All right. All right. All right. All right. So y'all, everybody opposed or you're for? Okay, let me handle it in a minute. This is a public hearing. Anyone like to speak against this item, please come forward. All right? All right.
I think everybody here is for it.
Okay, but we got an issue, Mr. Thomas, that I think you need to speak with Finance Department Licensing Division.
Yeah, we did.
Right.
Bob.
We've already spoken, they've made arrangements on the taxes.
Okay. All right. All right, go ahead and state your name for the record.
Willie Thomas.
All right, we got that, Ms. Blaylock. Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right. We didn't have any opposers. Okay, so I declare the public hearing has been held and is properly before the council. Mr. Grimes?
Okay, I went to it and they got 24 tables up there. Me and Charlie toured today, very nice.
Good job.
Yeah, we got the tax issue. Guys, we're gonna give you 60 days. And we're gonna be back in the review. So how many days? Get the cameras outside in the parking lot before you open. And we're gonna give you 60 days and cameras outside.
It'll be done.
Huh?
It will be done.
Sounds good.
All right. All right. Did I close the public hearing already? Okay. Need a motion to suspend the rules?
Move to suspend the rules.
All in favor, please raise your hand.
Unanimous.
Need a motion to adopt?
Move to adopt.
All in favor, please raise your hand.
Unanimous. I need a point of order.
Okay.
You said for them to have the cameras outside within 60 days.
No. We're gonna call them back in for review in 60 days. The cameras need to be in place before, it's hooked up with Star Watch before they open.
That's what I needed to know.
Yes, ma'am.
Review in 60 days.
That's good?
Yeah, that works.
Okay. Y'all good?
Good.
Okay.
All right, good luck with your business.
Thank you so much.
Did Charlie?
Hey, the mayor's a great pool shooter. He needs to go out there with y'all.
Hey, who won the game between you and Mr. Jenright?
I took Charlie.
Oh, man, that's easy money there.
He just didn't have any money.
You cheated. All right. Thank you. Good luck with your business. All right.
Item 13, application for
Damn,
retail
cleared out
beer
the place.
retail table wine off premises only, doing business as Quick Shop at 4020 Troy Highway.
All right, owners for Quick Shop, please come forward.
All right,
Your name for the record, ma'am? Your name for the record?
Rachel Mendoza.
Okay. This is a public hearing. Anyone like to speak against this item, please come forward. Seeing none, declare the public hearing has been held as proper before the council. Need a motion, Mr. Mitchell?
Motion to suspend the rules.
Have a motion to suspend the rules. All in favor, please raise your hand.
Unanimous.
Motion to adopt.
All in favor, please raise your hand.
Unanimous. Resolution is adopted.
Good luck with your business, ma'am.
Item 14, resolution appointing Michelle Summers to the museum board.
All right, need a motion?
Motion to suspend the rules for the rest of the agenda.
All in favor, please raise your hand.
Unanimous.
Motion to adopt.
All in favor, please raise your hand.
Unanimous. Resolution is adopted. 15, pursuant to section 1153B1 Code of Alabama, authorization of demolition of unsafe structures at the listed locations.
Okay. Anyone in the audience wants to speak to the council on item 15, demolition of properties? Okay. Hearing none.
Mr. President, motion to adopt.
All in favor, please raise your hand. Uphold.
Unanimous. Demolitions are upheld. Item 16, resolution declaring, authorizing, and assessing cost of abatement of public nuisances on various lots.
Okay. I don't know before we get a
Move to
motion.
adopt.
Okay, need a motion to suspend. In the audience, please speak to us on item 16, Mr. Lawrence Jackson.
Oh,
Good afternoon.
Hey, good afternoon.
I was just made aware of this ordinance about 2 weeks ago. I know that's probably our fault for not knowing, but we received a letter in a property that we just acquired. And I contacted the gentleman that's listed on there, Brian Seymour, and he basically told me that if we didn't put a sign up or take the pole down, that we'd be responsible for the city taking it down and the tax, it being assessed to our tax bill. And what I tried to explain to him, he said, well, we could give you 60 days. Those signs cost sometimes more than $25,000. The pole is there, and it just needs to be painted and the sign needs to be put up. But for those of us that are in new locations, I'm just asking, is there some type of grace or time period that can be provided for us to make use of the signs that are on our properties?
Okay. What's the location for the property?
3795 Eastern Boulevard, Jackson Funeral Home in Montgomery.
Right behind Capital Chevrolet?
That's where we used to be.
Okay. What was the address again?
3795 Eastern Boulevard. We're right in front of the Walmart.
What's the name of the church that used to be there?
Consuming Fire.
Consuming Fire, yeah.
All right. Yes, sir.
We'd be happy to look at any plans you have or see what's going on with it.
Okay. All right, Mr. Jackson. Work with building code, housing code, work with them on what you need to do with the sign. So on this, when we adopt this, can we just hold this item up and then we come back on the review before we review it in 2 weeks? So we make an amendment on just this one item. Can we do that, Mr. Laylock?
Yes, sir, you can
Pull it
remove.
up. Okay.
You can remove.
Thank you all.
3795.
All right.
All right, need a motion?
Did you remove it?
Yeah.
Okay.
It has to be part of the motion.
Okay,
Motion
make a
to
motion for,
adopt.
What number was it?
16.
I want to make a motion to adopt, but amend by striking 16, pulling 16 from the record, please, ma'am.
Yes, sir.
All right, all in favor?
Move to adopt.
Oh, we need suspension of rules, right?
No, sir, we've already.
All right.
Suspended it already.
Oh, all in favor, please raise your hand.
Unanimous.
All right.
Mr. President, point of presentation, can we add that in?
Yes, ma'am. Ms. Johnson?
Thank you, Mr. President.
Hold on, my bad. Got one more item, Mr. Laylock, that you give it, Laylock a copy.
Yeah,
Appointment.
Councilor Riley has a resolution reappointing Vincent Hall to the Montgomery Historic Preservation Commission.
Okay. Need a motion to suspend the rules?
Motion to suspend the rules.
Everybody got it? All in favor, please raise your hand.
Unanimous.
Ms. Riley?
Motion to adopt.
All in favor, please raise your hand.
Unanimous. Resolution is adopted. Mr. President, I also have some contingencies. I've put a list in front of you, and I've had a few additions.
Okay.
District 1, 2,500 to Montgomery Military Officers Association, 2,000 to AUM Baseball, 5,000 to McCoa. District 2, 500 to the Woods Dexter Ridge Wynwood Association, 100 to Madison Park Association. For District 5, Brantwood Kickball, $350. Montgomery Independent Living, 2,000. I did not find that one on my list, Mr. President. I'll have to check that one.
Okay, all right.
Mr. President,
Mr. Samansky?
I'd like to do $3,000 to Successful Living.
To
Successful Living Center.
Where is that located?
Okay.
They're in my.
3,000. Okay. Anybody else?
Yes, Ms. Blaylock, I'm gonna do $1,000 to McCullough and, 500 to Brentwood.
5,000 or
500, 500.
to Brentwood, the same as the other one?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Fi-
Kickball.
Mr. Grant?
Yes, 500 to Brantwood kickball and 750 for, what am I giving, Marche? What am I giving for you?
The Cancer Wellness Foundation, Women in Blue for Marche Johnson.
Make that 1,000 for
Okay then.
women
big
in
money.
1,000 for what?
cancer wellness.
Foundation for Women in Blue, Marche Johnson. Got to put all that on there, Brenda.
Cancer Wellness
Foundation of Central Alabama.
Salvation, that's it.
I'm gonna tap out my money.
Thank you, Ed.
Ms. Blaylock,
Yes, ma'am.
for District 2, I have 500 for Brentwood kickball.
Okay.
I have 1,500 for AUM baseball, AUM baseball.
Yes, ma'am.
1,000 for the Cancer Wellness
Foundation.
Foundation, and $1,000 for the Kidney Foundation. Is that correct, Ms. Riley?
Alabama Kidney Foundation.
Yes, ma'am.
Hey, is that AUM baseball Dixie League?
It is.
Let's be specific with that one.
Is that it?
Mr. President, I
We don't have
have,
no NIL deals going on.
Ms. Blaylock,
Yes, sir.
I'm gonna do 500 for kickball, Brentwood.
For Brentwood?
Yes, ma'am.
Kickball.
Then I'm doing 500 to dresses in pink, is that correct?
Dresses for pink.
Dresses for pink.
Okay.
All right?
Is that it?
All right, that's it. Need a motion?
Motion to adopt.
All in favor, please raise your hand.
Who made that? I didn't hear.
I did.
Mr.
One.
Grimes?
Unanimous.
All right.
That's all I have, Mr. President.
All right, in our public communication, non-agenda items, we have K. Kohler.